welcome back. A little bit of a different episode this time around because your girl found, look at this thing. It's a freaking rock seat. You know where I am? In the middle of nowhere. Nothing and nobody around. And there's this perfect little seat right under this tree. And I thought, thank you, universe. It's funny because my walk led me here, and it's funny because I've been trying to come here for several days. And when I first got here to this housing location, I ventured out here one day and I sat in the middle of this empty field, and I have not been back here since that day. And I don't even remember when that was. Had to be March, maybe. And what I think is interesting is I tried to come down this trail about a month ago, and I was tripping over rocks and sticks and all the things, and I was just like, okay, I'm not meant to be here right now. And today I come down here and there's this little rock seat that has this beautiful view of everything that's been burned. So many wildfire scars out here. But the crazy thing, even crazier thing, is that, if you can see them, there's little yellow flowers all throughout this field. They weren't there the last time I was here. And yellow flowers are huge for me. It's something that my inner child always gave to me when I first started talking to her. And she'll still occasionally give them to me, but anytime I see yellow flowers, we both get excited. But I came out here and I was sitting here trying to meditate, and this fly started buzzing around me, and I was like, really? You have an entire fucking wilderness and you have to be right here where I am? Okay. And I realized that I could hear the buzzing, but it was almost like I tuned it out. And the more that I tuned it out, it ended up going away. And it's funny because it came back right before I started recording this. And I was sitting here meditating, and I was so curious what was going to come through, because also hopefully you guys can hear me, because I realize it's really windy out and I didn't bring my little microphone. So here we are, raw dogging it. But what I think is really interesting is I was sitting here and I started hearing Scars by Papa Roach. If you know, you know. My clairaudience has been on point lately, so. But it was the line, all I can say is, I'll tear my heart open, I saw myself shine. My weakness is that I care too much. And the scars remind us that the past is real. Tear my heart open just to fail. And then I was reminded that I am sitting right in the middle of a wildfire scar from last year. In fact, this tree behind me is burned. You probably can't tell very much, except if you look at the roots. Every tree around me, in pretty much a 360-degree radius, including that big mama right there, everything was burned. And so there's two messages coming through with this. One is that even after death, there will be rebirth. I know I said this recently in one of my videos. Even after the darkest storms and the darkest nights, there will be light. There always is. That's duality in its most perfect form. And I know for me personally, I said to myself for a long time, like, I don't know if I believe in darkness. That was something I really had to play with, because darkness is a thing. And it may not be dark in the way that we've portrayed it to be dark, right? Because when it comes to, I'm gonna sneeze. We're right on track. As far as like demons and darker spirits and things like that, not that I didn't fully believe in them, but it wasn't something I gave my time and energy to. And demons really are just, they're just what we deem as negative emotions, like demons, right? Negative emotions. If you get it, you get it. I don't feel like I have to explain that. But what I think is interesting is I've never fully believed in that. And it's so funny, the wind's picking up. Recently, when I started going back to the chiropractor, he made mention of me having some darker energy around me. And I could tell that he was uncomfy saying it, more so for the fact that I don't think he knew how I was going to respond. And that's okay. Like, that's nobody else's responsibility except for mine. And that goes for anything. And I was like, he's like, I can feel you. You got your stuff. Like, I can feel your energy. This energy is not yours. And I thought, what the fuck? Like, I do all this energy healing and all these things, and like, what the fuck? But I always believe that there's like a lesson, right? And for me, it was a lesson in I don't have to carry things for other people anymore. And that's something that I did for a really, really, really long time. And it's something that I have had to sit back and reassess recently. It's something that I have had a little bit of a hard time with, if I'm being honest, because I'm like, dang, no wonder I feel so fucking tired, because I'm carrying around other people's baggage. And I was wondering why I was attracting things into my field that I didn't fully resonate with. It's because there's this other energy that I've had around me, which I've just had to live and let be and trust that it'll disappear when it's meant to. And I've done all that I can, and I have to trust in that. But I do think the bigger lesson is like, I used to love through taking on other people. How do I say that? That was like a way in which my subconscious thought I either needed to be loved or could love, was to take on other people's stuff as if it were my own. And the biggest lesson recently has been to not carry the backpack anymore. In fact, I said it on one of my most recent videos with my right shoulder and back pain that I've been having. I haven't had right shoulder or back pain in years, and not even this bad. And even when I've had it, it's been, pretty manageable. But I always believe that pain is trying to teach us something, and there's lessons that can be, extracted from it. And the other thing that I want to touch on, the more important thing, with the song Scars by Papa Roach, is that a lot of us feel deeply and love so deeply. And that doesn't mean that we have to take on other people's stuff in order to love or be loved. The fly wanted to make an appearance, apparently. But as I'm sitting here looking out at this wildfire scar and all the trees that have been burned and all this new life that appears around it, and the fact that all these trees are still standing, like, there's something to be said about that. The fact that all of these trees burned, there's thousands of acres that burned last year, and somehow there is new life amidst the rubble. And sometimes in order to move on to the next phase in life, to be reborn in some sort of way, and as someone who's been through many death and rebirths, this one might take the cake on everything, guys, because I feel like I have had to re-see everything that I have lived in the last 34 years. And not in a bad way, and not because I missed something or... And sometimes it is like another message wants to come through, but it's to be able to see how far you've come and to know that new life can exist even amidst the rubble. New life can emerge even amidst what's been burned and what's died. And with that comes grief. There's a bug crawling on me. And I really truly think that this song is about grief. It's about literally tearing your heart open so that you can feel. And how beautiful that is. That we get to feel. We came here to feel. And I have had to feel a lot of things this last week that were maybe not so comfy. Hopefully you guys can hear me. It's pretty windy here. But I trust that the message will get through. And I've had to feel a lot of things, a lot of uncomfortable things. My body honestly feels like it's been through a rigor. In fact, when I came out for this walk, I was like, all right, God, what messages do you have for me? And all I heard was rest. And I was like, yes, I hear you, I see you, I love you, but I want to go for a walk. And my walk is intentional, my walk is purposeful. Like, it's not just walking because I'm trying to escape something. It's like I truly want to move my energy, and I a lot of times channel while I'm walking. Like, I don't listen to music when I walk. I don't have headphones in. I don't even carry headphones with me. And I came out here with the intention to be with myself and to connect with Gaia, but I had a feeling that there was going to be another message that wanted to come through, and I desire to do more of these because I feel like it's important, and I feel like everyone out there is always experiencing something, and I'm sure at least one of my videos can provide you with something. But yeah, know that it's okay to feel, and it's okay to grieve, and there's no linear timeline. I think if anything, that's one thing grief has taught me, is there's no linear fucking timeline to grief. It might hit you in the beginning really hard. It might hit you 5 years down the road. It might hit you at the most inconvenient fucking times. Grief has no timeline. And I think there's something beautiful about that. I talked in my previous video about some things that came up as I was time traveling today. And how back in 2020, I had an abortion, and I was with my then husband, and we had gotten pregnant, and I just had a really, really potent vision. And I was like, I can't do this. Like, I have to heal. I can't bring a child into this world until I heal. And little did I know that little babe was going to send me on one of the biggest journeys in my life. One of the most beautiful ones, too. It's been a whirlwind, but it's been worth it. And I'm so grateful that I made that decision. But with that decision came grief. And I didn't process it at the time. It's taken me years, honestly. But it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And, you know, with that, it wasn't even just grieving that little babe. It was grieving the life I had. It was grieving so many different things, because that ultimately, you know, 4 months later, I asked for a divorce. And that was just the catalyst to so many things. I had to grieve that version of me that lived up until then. I had to grieve the person that went and did all of that and then continued to live and has lived and tried to rebuild her life, and now she feels like, I don't know, in some ways I feel like I built it back up, and other ways I'm like, I've just been burning it down for years. And now's the time to rebuild. But with that comes grief. And a lot of feelings, guys, a lot of feelings. But honestly, I tear my heart open just to feel. And not that I have to tear my heart open to feel, because I feel immensely without even doing that. But there's something in that song that relates to grief that just hits on a different level. And again, it's grief of the old. It's grief of what this used to be. Like, that's wild. That's all burned. And yet there's this beautiful new life that's taken place. And how freaking cool that is. That can coexist in the same realm, the same area even. And I think there's something to be said about that, where parts of us may die. And it's important to grieve those and feel that. And it's also important to live and not get sucked away in all the emotions and the grief and all the things. Like, it's not a pity party. It's about feeling and moving through it. I'm getting the image of a wave. And how when you get swept up in a wave, if you just let go, that wave will carry you exactly where you're meant to go. But if you try and fight it, it'll swallow you up. And I know being in the grief hole last year, it tried to swallow me up so hard. And I had to learn to flow through it all. And I think that's pretty beautiful. So I want you to know that if you're going through a hard time, or if you feel like you're going through a death, know that there is a rebirth on the way, if it hasn't already started. And there's always light, even after the darkest days. New life always returns. A rebirth is always on the horizon. There's no telling exactly when. Everyone's timeline is different. But feel what you need to feel. Be in the moment. Don't get lost in the sauce. Your mind might want to get lost in the sauce. Don't get lost in the sauce. Feel with your body, with your heart, with your soul. Let your mind go. Mind's for the birds half the time. But really, truly feel. Because there's something really beautiful about that. Being able to feel the full spectrum of emotions and know what that feels like. And to still be able to walk out the other side. And see the light in the world. It's a giant, I think it's a raven. It's either a raven or a turkey vulture, but I think it's a raven. We'll see if they make their appearance over here. But yeah. There's so much beautiful energy with that message. Like, I feel like there's more, but I'm getting no. Oh, it's a turkey vulture. Love that. Being able to see life and everything from a different perspective is really, really important. Anytime I see birds like that, I'm like, oh, they have a different perspective of the world. And that's pretty freaking cool. So go give that song a listen if you've never heard of it. It's one of my favorites, to be honest. I saw Papa Roach back in high school, actually. High school? I think it was high school. Such a rad freaking concert. They played with, who did they play with? Papa Roach played with, was it Papa Roach or Buck Cherry? God, now I can't even remember. Doesn't matter. I've seen a lot of concerts in my heyday. Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for being here. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe. Lynn Shelto on all platforms. One-on-ones and all my offerings, guides, books, all the things are listed in my bio. And yeah, thanks for being here. Thank you to Mama Earth for sharing her wisdom with us. I love you so much. I'll see you on the next one.